How did one of baseball's biggest creators get their wife to quit their job so then go full-time as a creator? In today's episode, we got to spend time with Aiden and Addy McIntyre. We got to talk to them about Aiden's journey through the minor leagues and his early YouTube videos to build a media empire, spanning long-form videos on YouTube, short-form content, newsletters, brand deals, and coaching youth teams, and more. If you want to see what it's really like to be a full-time baseball creator, this is the episode for you. Can't wait for you to check out this episode of the Brolletts.
Guys, before we jump into today's episode, I got to tell you about our new sponsor. It is Stinger Sports. Guys, I got to tell you what I love about these guys. So first, I met Brandon, the founder of Stinger, through a mutual friend. We had him on the podcast, one of my favorite episodes. Make sure that you go and check it out. But we've developed not only a bit of a friendship, but now a partnership where we want to introduce everyone on the world to Stinger Sports because they make incredible athletic gear at an affordable price. And this is what I really love because if you're a parent, you know how expensive gear is getting, how expensive uniforms are getting. And these guys make affordable stuff that is pro level quality. Right now, Colt is using one of their gloves. I mean, this thing is sick. Look how customized that is. And he's using this in 13U baseball right now, which is amazing. And then we also brought them on as a uniform sponsor. Look at these custom Stinger Sports Brolette jerseys. How cool are these? And the best thing, they're not just for baseball. So baseball, soccer, volleyball, whatever that you need, they can equip you. But on the baseball side specifically, what I love is they will equip you with fully customizable jerseys, but also the pants, the hats. They will also get you the ancillary stuff like batting gloves or team backpacks or anything that you need. And they have packages that make it affordable for any family. Guys, you got to check out Stinger Sports. I will put the link in the description. Check these guys out. Make sure you tell them that the Brolletts sent you. And please, please, please support our sponsors here. Check out what they're doing. Big fans of Stinger Sports. Now, let's jump into this week's episode. All right, so we're going to kick this off and kind of play like the couples game. You guys have to agree on some blind rankings of baseball drip, which I'm sure, Addy, you just love ranking baseball drip and all the stuff that shows up at your house every day. So we got 5 mystery items, and you got to put them somewhere 1 through 5.
I feel like you should have a pretty good idea.
Okay,
sure.
yeah. Fernando Tatis, Bruce Bolts.
Ooh, I'll go.
I was gonna say
2.
Oh,
What are you going?
I was gonna go 1.
1.
You can't go 1 early.
You think you can't chip?
Go
Okay, I'll
Go 2.
I'll
Go 2.
Nice.
He is sliding.
Might be the 1, honestly.
That might be one.
I think I'll go 1 actually.
Okay,
I'll do
for
it 1.
okay, I'm glad to
So
say
it's
that.
ultimate.
It's gutsy going 1, you know? Like, they've been in the market for a little while.
I know it's early. I'm hoping there's some bad ones left. Yeah.
Gutsy call.
Triple crown chains.
Oh, 3.
Yeah,
Here's my 3.
3.
I would have probably put chains at 1. That was like the only thing I could think of being 1 over it. So 3.
3.
Custom glove.
These are all good.
I thought you were gonna throw some bad ones in there.
4 for custom glove. Yeah.
Oh, only 1 spot left.
Yeah.
Yep.
Gotta be
Croc cleats.
Oh, Croc. 5, I guess. 5.
Yeah, last slot.
They are. I don't know if I would describe Croc cleats as baseball drip. I think that they are very interesting and fun to look at. I think that I would put the other stuff ahead of it.
I think if that was a real thing, we would have kids showing up in those. Like his brother, I have a 7-year-old team I'm coaching right now for a holiday tournament, and they all show up in Crocs. And I'm like, it's practice. Like, what are we doing? Like,
Yeah. No, when I talked to them, they were like, we get requested all the time if we can do Crocs. And they're like, we say no. And I
don't
was
start that trend. Don't do it.
like, well, yeah, we'll see if they're open to it now. But that was fun. All right. Is it 1 through 5? I feel pretty good about it.
Yeah.
Pretty good.
I feel good.
Yeah.
All right, now let's get into the fun stuff. Take it away.
Let's do it.
This is, I think, the first time you guys are doing a podcast together. We usually never do intros in our shows, but maybe break down your story and what role you each played in your content business.
Yeah, first off, this is the first podcast we have done together. I'm actually super excited about it. I haven't done a podcast in a very long time, mainly because I feel like so much by making so much content, it's kind of like a lot of the stories out there, but it's going to be super cool to share a little bit more about Addy and I, especially working together. Do you want to kind of kick off what this year has looked like, and then I can kind of go back?
Yeah, this year I joined the team officially. It was a really big decision and it was kind of crazy. I think the cool thing about content is you never know when it's time. I think there's never the perfect time. There's never the I don't know, feeling of being ready for it. And we decided to go all in with it, and we haven't regretted it.
Yeah, and that would have
since
been July, pretty much.
July.
And so kind of like tossing it back to the very beginning of content, Addy says like she went into it full time now, but Addy and I were actually dating. So it was 2020. We had probably only been dating for like a year, and I was working as a trainer for Driveline. COVID happened, whole season was shut down, and at some point, the reason I started content, because I wasn't very interested in content before that. I would say I was pretty not shy. I just didn't want to make content. I wasn't comfortable on camera. I didn't like talking. And so the reason I started it was to create training videos for pitchers. So like, how to throw a curveball, mechanical stuff like that. And I think that it was kind of like my way of playing it safe, of like I could be this player and also kind of start content, but like not be looked at it as an influencer or like content creator. It was more like as a trainer. But none of that would have actually started without Addy. She was kind of the whole reason that honestly the whole YouTube channel exists. So even though this year is the first time like we have now been full-time on it together, Addy's been working on it for 5 years. She's had to like watch all of the edits and like listen to like, she knows all the products. So she's now officially working out full-time, and it's really definitely been a 5-year anniversary was this year. And so it's been kind of a cool experience to kind of come full circle.
Nice. We'll definitely be asking about some of those cringy moments that Addy's had to watch over the years as we go. So
A lot of them are still this year too.
You started on YouTube almost exactly 5 years ago on November 2nd, 2020, when you're still pitcher in the A's organization. And you also had some nice long hair.
I did.
Take us back to everything that went into the decision to hit record and post that video 5 years ago.
I think a lot went into the decision. I was so terribly uncomfortable. And the one thing I will say too, and I'm sure we'll talk about it more, and I know it's actually something that I've seen in your guys' previous content with like Hayden Cantrell and other like pro guys and college guys even, is content now is seen as like super valuable and really like kind of like cool, and players really see how they can utilize it. It was not the case in 2020. Content was not cool. I got a ton of like negative feedback for content. And so I think that the reason to start it, and I still come back to this, I remember it, and it was like talking with Addy, was pretty much like almost like it took a lot for me to get over myself to post content. And I kind of used the line that like, if I realized like if my videos could help one person, then it was worth it. And it was worth me getting over my own like discomfort and posting the content. As far as the actual like logistics of it, Addy helped a lot. I think that we shot it. That was the first camera we got, which, do you want to tell the story about the camera from that year to now?
Yeah, so that video came out in November. I think we bought that camera in August. And you're going to like this. It was a Canon M50. It didn't even shoot in 4K. It was...
Yeah, it's like a flip camera. I still love it.
still love it. Yeah, it's great for selfie videos. Yeah.
Yeah, it's great. And so, for me, I feel like I grew up in the generation of just being like a YouTube nerd. I loved YouTube growing up, and it had such an influence of this idea of you feel really connected to these personalities and to these people. And this is where like daily vlogging was a thing. And is really quite incredible to see these people create. And so we're in San Diego at the time, and Aiden's, this is your 2020, so this is COVID year. You're at home, and there's still like value to like what you had and who you were. And so how can we share that? And it immediately came back to YouTube. And similarly, like if it helped just one player or even a parent or somebody that has a baseball player to understand the game a little bit more, it was going to be worth it. So it took a lot of planning to get that first video out as well.
Even just like learning YouTube and how to publish, like uploading videos and being able to actually like schedule them and things like that. It was all a brand new like learning curve. I didn't know anything about it.
Neither of us have any technical or classical film training or media training. So there were a lot of like learning moments like all throughout it.
I love that.
We got that camera in 2020, and then we actually didn't get another camera till this year. So the first pretty much 4.5 years of it were on that one camera. So yeah, I think YouTube's hard. I mean, I literally remember being on YouTube looking up like how to publish a video to YouTube. So it's hard and also very, very helpful. So
Very meta.
yeah.
Today, most creators start with short form and try to figure out long form. You've done the opposite and started with YouTube, then short form and the newsletter. How do you guys think about long form versus short form for creators starting today?
I think, well, when I started YouTube, there really wasn't short form. That was like, especially on YouTube. And so I started very heavily on YouTube, like long form, not necessarily like Instagram Reels or posts or anything like that. And so it was almost just like that was the option. Reels weren't really a thing. Short form really wasn't very popular. And I'm actually glad that I did it that way. I think that there's so much value to long form content, and what it's able to provide to viewers and the way you're able to like how much more in depth it can be as a creator. Like I find long form so much more challenging than short form. And not to say that short form isn't challenging, or also the big one is like it's valuable. Like to me, short form is super valuable from the standpoint of it lowers the entrance barrier for a lot of creators. And now because of short form, we've seen so many really, really good creators. And so I think that like I'm personally such a huge fan of short form from a involvement standpoint. It's able to get like more people involved. And I think that long form to me is just like the ultimate kind of content challenge and continues to be the content challenge for me. But I think that there's so much value in both. And it's kind of like it's also fun to like play around with two different styles as well. But I mean, our big kind of emphasis this year has been obviously both. And it's just like the goal for this year is just volume. And the goal for kind of next year is to really, really hone in and try to make better long form videos, like the best long form videos we can make.
I want to talk about your early videos because I love them because there's so many people, I think, who start and they want to be like, let's just say they want to be like you today, right? You got the nice studio, you got brands sending you boxes and stuff. But I think in those early days, you have to go through that. And this is what we've talked about with him. Like I was just watching some of his videos from like last year and I'm like, God, you were awful, but you have to go through that to like get better, right? You find your voice, you find your footing, you find some confidence.
Yes.
And then also you find formats, right? Like you were doing like Road to 97, Live ABs, you were vlogging, and like you're like throwing crap against the wall, and like you eventually figure out, what works. So I love and also at that time you're still trying to play, like you still want to like, actually play baseball for a living. So like, as you look back at like 5 years ago, just both of you, like what were some of those early days like trying to find your footing in content, trying to be a professional baseball player and, everything else that's going on in your life?
I would love your take on it because you were obviously like a part of filming it, but also just like kind of seeing it. I think some of the, I guess, challenges of it as well.
Yeah. I think Aiden spoke on it, that this idea of like content wasn't cool yet in the baseball sphere. And the awesome news is it's grown. It's become a lot more inclusive and accessible. And hopefully like culturally a little bit more inclusive. But I think it was also like working around that. It was, how can we create content that hopefully also our viewers enjoy, we enjoy, but also that teams were okay with us posting. And I think it was really interesting. And I think I pushed Aiden like early and often to try different formats, different things.
It was very YouTube, and I was very, very guarded. I guess I would say I was guarded is a good way to put it. Like, I still remember we had one video, and you were like had this like thumbnail idea, and I was like, no, like I wasn't comfortable with it because. And the funny thing is now, like it 100% would have been a better thumbnail.
Yeah.
I just didn't almost like understand YouTube, and I think I was more so like playing it safe from the standpoint of like nobody can really say anything too negative about like a training video or something. And so I think the early days of it, like honestly looking back, I think like when we hit 10 years on YouTube, because I plan on doing this forever, I think that probably the first few years are going to be the years I'm the most like proud of, even though they weren't the years that like broke out. Like realistically, the first 4 years doing YouTube, I think we gained like 8,000, 7,000 subscribers. And like, I thought that was the craziest thing ever. Like, I really genuinely did not expect to, like, I didn't start it to gain subscribers or to like really, like, I didn't think it would do very well. And I think I started out with some limiting like beliefs on it and just a lot of like, just uncomfortable around being on camera. And so I think that like kind of continuing to do it and breaking through, I think because of that, that's when I'll probably be the most proud of. But I specifically remember probably one of those videos you watched, we got it back, and in the footage, I still have a hard time watching it now. I think it was like the vlog from Instructs in 2020. So it's like COVID. And if you watch it and you look, I like almost never make direct eye contact with the camera. And also the camera is literally never higher than like below me. And it would because the A's didn't want anything being recorded. And so like, it also because I was uncomfortable holding my phone out to record or like setting it up to record. So every bit of that video is like pretty much as like, I'm like on my own by myself. Like there's no real conflict in it. So it's still kind of funny to me watching that back now. And I still am not like, if we're walking somewhere and it's like packed, I would still be uncomfortable just like pulling my phone out and it like doing that. But it's like a different level now where I also like trust myself and like feel like I have obviously the authority, and it's like my job. So I need to kind of continue to push that a little bit. So
you can go back. There are still, I mean, you haven't archived anything. Like the videos are out
they're
there.
all, and I won't. I like to keep them up. I still think it's hilarious when like kids will find my videos today, and then they'll be like, "Oh, I'll get like a comment on a video from 4 years ago." And they'll be like, "Oh, you pitched." So yeah, we'll keep all the videos out.
Or like some of the shorts, there will be like
Short.
just that your voice inflection was different, and it's not that neither voice wasn't your true voice, but you'll still get messages that are like, "Are you okay? Like you sound splashed."
Yeah, I'll send it to you guys after this one. The same way you said like you watched Colt's content, you're like, oh, like a year ago to now is like totally different. My first shorts, I'm like, even like green screen ones, it's just like, it's tough. There's a lot of comments that are like, are you sick? I'm like, no, I'm just bad at this. So that was, yeah.
Right after you announced your retirement, you posted a video, Baseball Drip Like the Pros, that has more than 300,000 views. That video appears to have changed everything for you, from your style to what you focused on in your content to the underlying business model. What happened in that video that made it take off?
Yeah, that is the video that really kind of changed it. So there's a huge gap of like, I was posting, I was playing, and then pretty much when I retired, I stopped YouTube. I had no plans of continuing to do YouTube. I would leave it up, but like I had always seen YouTube as my playing, almost like I was working as a trainer and I was playing. And if I made it to the big leagues and I had this YouTube channel, then like I'd be able to do all these cool things. And when I retired, I was pretty like disappointed, honestly. Like I obviously like the goal is to play, and so I didn't have any vision for how YouTube could work. And I remember like telling Addy like pretty much like, well, I'm not playing, so like nobody cares, and which is the most hilarious thing now to look at. And so when I retired, I stopped and had no intentions of continuing YouTube. I was going to get like a sales job because I just needed a job. And then we ended up, I remember doing all the sales training, and I was like, I don't really know if I want this. And then it was literally, I still remember we were like in our kitchen and we were talking about the work, and she was like, well, I think we just need to like kind of keep looking. And I'm like, I've looked, there's nothing. And so we ended up finding, she found this company called vidIQ, and vidIQ is a YouTube software company. But they were launching a one-on-one coaching program where they're looking for remote coaches to coach other YouTube channels. And it was like the only thing on LinkedIn that I think I qualified for. And I remember like, cause I was a good trainer in baseball, and pretty much like I was hired, and they said, they're like, well, like I didn't know YouTube, but they're like, we can teach you YouTube and you are like a good coach. So like we can work with that. And so between that gap on YouTube of like my retirement video and that first long form video, I was working with vidIQ for like 5 months, and it felt like a full education in like a crash course. Like within 5 months, I felt like I knew so much more than I ever knew. And at some point I was like, well, I think I want to just like try it out myself and start making my own like content. And yeah, that was the first long form, and it absolutely exploded. And I remember because we had done like I'd done some shorts before that, and they had kind of like taken off. And I was like, wonder if I could do this as a long form. And the funny thing is, I think that video is like 3 minutes and 30 seconds.
It's super long form.
Yeah. But yeah, that video, I remember that video though, when it published, it was the first one that I'd ever done with this like totally new knowledge of YouTube. And I'm sure I could like pick it apart now. But at the time, like that was like such a great video to make. Cause like I had all this like proof of like, this is an interesting concept. Addy and I remember like even like looking at the thumbnail and being like, this looks like a real kind of like YouTube thumbnail. And yeah, I mean, the video took off. Like I remember when we kind of felt it, like, and I remember getting almost like that nod of approval of like, this is like kind of what we need to do and that this can work. I still think it's like, really interesting that one took off in the way that it did, because I didn't expect it to do that. I thought it would do well, but I don't know, it got like 10,000 views in like a day. And I thought that was like the craziest thing of all time. So, yeah, I have fond memories of that one.
Most people will see the success you're having and the audience you have now. But you created for 3.5 years before that video popped off. How did you guys keep at it and not quit when it wasn't taking off?
You want to go first on this one?
I would just keep doing it. I was like, the funny thing is, even posting back then while you were playing, even then, like after retirement, it was like, well, the worst thing that's going to happen is we'll have some fun videos of like that time, and we'll be able to look back at them and laugh or look at them fondly or whatever that is. And I was like, if the worst thing that happens is we enjoy those videos and maybe somebody else does, but it's worth it.
Yeah. Yeah. I think that was like another aspect. I'm so glad that I got like any content of when I played, because, obviously like when you're playing, you kind of think you're going to play forever and you want to play forever. And then like the reality is like, obviously this is like, nobody does that. And so I think being able to have footage of like me in the Lansing locker room packing and going from like high A to double A, it's just like cool. Almost like for me, like I documented my journey. And I think that's something where, it's not as much even that I think it's not so much of the content we post now, but even that, like personally, like I like to more so now document my journey and kind of where I'm at and how I think about things. And so that's why I like doing like podcasts like this. Like it'll be cool in 5 years when you're in high school or college, like, and we have this podcast, and you can even look back on it too and kind of be like, oh, it's like cool to have seen myself do this for so long. But yeah, I think how do you push through it? Like when things aren't performing well, baseball, I think, taught me so many life lessons. And it's funny because when I got out of baseball, it doesn't feel like that. It didn't for me. Like, it didn't feel like, oh, like here's all these jobs that like definitely want you because you played double A baseball. But there's so many values in it. And I think that the one line that I kind of live by now is like, I live by as a player was like, you don't do the work because of like the goal that you want. You do the work because you love it. Like that's it. Like the kind of like the destination is like not as important as where you currently are. And I think that for me, it's like been the same thing with content, and it's very much up and down. And I think because there was so much, failure early on, which the funny thing is, I actually think that like, I thought the channel was doing really well. That's how clueless I was. I was like, oh, 7,000 subscribers. We're like, this is amazing. And I stand by that because it was. And so I think that like it's not that I have like low expectations at all. I mean, I think my expectations are pretty high, but they're of myself. They're not of other people. They're not of like subscribers or followers. Like my expectations are that if I'm able to show up in a way that is genuine, in a way that is authentic, and that is valuable to somebody else, like everything else kind of works. But I think that we went through almost so much struggle and like different, like that at this point, it's like I could post for a week straight and the videos could get 0 views and I will keep posting. And I won't look at it as like, oh, it's a fluke in the system or like the algorithm. Like I'll post videos now that flop all the time. And it almost like now it doesn't really hurt. I think I kind of like, it just doesn't hurt because it's like I was probably trying something new, or it wasn't maybe as interesting out of the topic or something, but it's like, it doesn't really matter now. Like we're going to post either way. So.
Yeah, it's funny because I still think like some of our favorite videos, or I think we're proud of every single video we press post on. That's like still remains true. But some of our favorite videos aren't like the biggest views. They aren't the biggest subscriber count or wherever it was, but that's kind of what makes them special.
And I think there's a lot of different like wins you can also look for. And I think that's just what I've gotten better at is like if a video goes out, it's easy to look at it 1 through 10. It's easy to look at views. It's easy like it's also like, well, how many like new viewers did you bring in? Did you have longer view duration? Did the hook perform better? Like there's so many little things that's kind of like you can almost always find a win. And even at the end of the day, you post a video that just absolutely crashes. And I'll put this one out as it was like literally probably 6 weeks ago. I published a video about the Savannah Bananas, and it was like my experience going to a game. I think it was like titled like Why America's Obsessed with the Bananas, and I liked the thumbnail title. It's done so badly, and it's kind of funny to me because it's like obviously it was an experiment. It didn't really land. We've learned from it, but the cool part about it was we still got the experience. Like we actually got to go. We watched in a Petco. We got to see people we enjoyed. We got to hang out on a beach for a little while. Like there was still a lot of wins in actually just like doing the work. So I think that there's some success that I think we found in that.
What does your business look like today? What are your core content formats, and how are you able to pay the bills through your content?
From a perspective of like this year versus previous, this year has really grown into there's I guess pie chart. There's YouTube AdSense, which is one section of it. There is brand deals. Those are really like the top two. There's some like affiliate revenue in there as well. But those are like really like it's like brand deals and YouTube AdSense. And the big thing with being a YouTuber is like all the people at vidIQ were amazing, and they taught me so much. And one of the biggest things they taught me is like you can't be a full-time YouTuber if AdSense is your only income. It like ideally they're like AdSense should be like fourth. And I remember being like, I have no idea how that's going to work. And this is really the first year that we have figured out partnerships. And I think we can agree on this. The hard thing with like partnerships is not just like finding partners, but like we're pretty selective in like who we kind of want to work with. And if another aspect too of like a lot of the content is that we're reviewing products, we are like putting valuable, like hopefully valuable information out. And so obviously if things are paid for, then there's like, that needs to be either expressed to the viewer. So like they know, or like we've turned down a lot of paid deals because having like an exclusivity for a certain thing then kind of changes it. And so I think that it's been interesting this year kind of working with different partners and brands to kind of like find, well, what are products that like, it's products I've always like worked with. So like PlayCrate this year, they've been fantastic. We've worked all year together. And the funny thing is I've been getting PlayCrates for like 2 years before that. Like at some point we like moved somewhere, and when I got back, there was like 6 months of like I don't know how to cancel this. Like I don't even know if I'm paying for the subscription. So like PlayCrate's been a great company. Triple Crown has been another one where for me it's like they're the best in the best for like baseball players for jewelry. And so like I kind of stand by that, and so it makes it easier for that to be like an exclusive thing with them. Where it's still going is kind of interesting, I think, because I do think that there's a lot of almost like ways that I guess we talk about is like as a creator, I think you can sell your soul. So like the first thing that when I talked with my agency, which is Max and Tyler at Motive, they're fantastic. They represent a lot of like Savannah Banana players, party animals, also like other athletes, is like automatically anything to do with like sports betting, gambling, any pretty much adult, like anything was off the table right away. And that was just to be very clear that like, I think that I have a responsibility, knowing that I have a youth audience, knowing that I'm catering to a youth audience, to make sure any sort of brand deal, any sort of sponsorship I bring in, is something that like I approve of. And I think that's something we've been like pretty clear with all along.
Yeah. Yeah, our team is small too. We it's a small team. I mean, from having and that was also a part of bringing me on as well. I think I mentioned like from an actual like standpoint of the cost of production. It's you and me, and then we have some awesome other people that are involved, to include like our editor who does all the videos. Shout out Trey.
This is all the long form.
Yeah, for all the long form. We edit in-house all of the short form, photos, everything. So it's really nice when you can work with a small team, and also like intimately as well for us. Like it's been able to expedite things. So like our cost of production is pretty low, which
It's higher than I ever thought it would have ever been like 5 years ago.
Editors aren't cheap these days, man.
No. I was like, I used to make the thumbnails. They were free.
Yeah. And so like even that, like videography and photography is not a cheap hobby, a cheap career either. It takes a lot of investing in it. And so being able to do that and do that long term has been really helpful.
I think something that's cool that you guys have done different than a lot of other creators, especially in the baseball space, is you've kind of diversified also your media properties, right? So short form, long form, and as silly as it is, like, dude, I've been doing newsletters for 25 years and now they're cool, right? But like it gives you another opportunity to put those brand deals in, or for additional affiliate revenue. Like you guys are always doing like top 5 things, and like it gives you more placements that align perfectly with your brand, that gives you more, like, how do we make Triple Crown more successful? We'll put them in front of more eyeballs, right? Put them in front of more people, put them in different formats and stuff. So just talk about your mix and how you guys think about that. Because again, most creators, like, they just want to do short form. They just want, like, you guys are diversifying a little bit on that side.
Yeah, I think the goal, I mean, a lot of the newsletter started this year in January. And it was one of those things where I'd almost like, through working at vidIQ and working with a lot of like really, really excellent YouTubers and coaches on all these like different niches. Cause like during my time at vidIQ, I probably worked with like multiple thousands of channels, like in probably like a 9-month span. So like my caseload at some point was like 90 creators that I was talking to daily. And that's like me understanding them as a human, their channel, what they're trying to do. Like, and it was one of those things where I got really good at the job because I just cared a lot. And I would literally, we joke about, but like it was remote. So like time wise, I would sometimes wake up at 4 a.m. and I'd start my 9 to 5 job at 4:30 in the morning, and I would do it until noon. And then I'd spend the rest of the day doing my own content. And I think in doing it, I just like, you start to see things that are successful. So like newsletters, it kept popping up, like all these people. And then like any book you read, I mean, obviously like James Clear is like the all-time, like there's like all these like, it's like newsletter. And so it was one of those things where I'm like, I think it's a great way for us to, like you said, like kind of diversify, and also to have somewhere that like you totally control. Because like YouTube, a video can get taken down, you don't really have much control over it. And it can be for like videos just get deleted, like things happen. And so we wanted to have as much control as possible of like, the newsletter is ours, like we control it. And we really do. So far, it really hasn't, like, this year was just, I guess, an experiment with it. And I think next year is going to be even more so, like, how do we really curate this to be super valuable? But I mean, I think the newsletters are like smallest platform compared to everything else, but it's also the one that's like hilarious if like that people be like, oh, I read your newsletter. Like I remember meeting a kid at a game or something. He's like, oh, I love your newsletter. And it kind of like blows my mind that that's something that like on, a Monday, he's like waiting for the newsletter. And I think from a business standpoint, yeah, the goal is to really just be able to diversify and bring kind of like as much value in different forms as possible. And I think there's no end to that with us with like experimenting. Like even the biggest thing for me on Instagram this year was memes. Like I had never done, if you like go to my page, you'll never see one of those like white meme like images until like halfway through this year, where I think I was just like, I saw something and I was like, I could make that. And I think the first one I made was bad and like did not do well. And then it was like the third or fourth or like fifth one that kind of popped off. And I just remember like seeing how kind of like the engagement, and again, almost like there's openings. And even for like both of you, I'm sure that there's been things that you guys have done where it's like, you kind of see an opening in baseball. Like, I mean, even literally, I think like doing this type of podcast, like there's not a lot of baseball podcasts and that are kind of like focusing on what you guys are. So I think that for us, like, we're going to continue to try to kind of grow each platform we're on, and then also always look for like opportunities to do other things, or kind of like diversify that, I guess.
Yeah, I agree. Trying new things. And I think that even comes from like the media side of a lot of these different platforms often, push new
New features,
new media products. And so trying to be early on them, early and often. And so that was even like moving on to YouTube when they put out the YouTube shorts was like, all right, let's just put out a bunch, see what happens.
Yeah.
Now Instagram is making YouTube or Instagram carousels. Like, let's put out.
Sorry, those are like, yeah.
And then part of the newsletter too, I'll mention it's still like catering to our audience. And so this idea that we do have a youth audience, and hopefully their families as well. And so almost a safety net of that. The internet is a really big and scary place. And not only do we want like our content to be family friendly, but we want it to be accessible. And so the newsletter hopefully acts as a little bit of a parameter to it as well. So a lot of our giveaways are done on that as well.
That was another big thing that we kind of learned this year, because I like to give, like, that's a part of it. Like, I like to give things away. I just like simply do not need all of this stuff. I also like it is just like a part of like, it can make somebody's day better. It can make a player like, but there's like downside to it with trying to do giveaways on YouTube. And then there's like, anytime you do a giveaway on Instagram, there's scam accounts. And so we just started doing like where every single week of this year, we've given something away in the newsletter. And that's even like, again, it's not that it's like safer for us, it's safer for kids. Cause like the amount of kids that have reached out, or parents, about like, scam accounts, it's like, and it's hard because it's like an uncontrollable. I obviously don't control if somebody creates those accounts. I can try to prevent it the best I can, but the newsletter definitely helped with keeping, I think, the audience a little bit safer too, which has been an added bonus that we kind of found in doing it.
What's even cooler is that, Addy, you quit your job to help grow this business together. What were the discussions like for you to leave your job and go all in the media business, Aiden?
Oh my gosh. There were a lot of discussions about it. I think I wanted to do it for a long time. I was working full-time in operations, and I am still a Pilates instructor as well. I still do that now. But yeah, it was a kind of big, scary decision to say like, all right, I'm going to leave my salaried job to go fully pursue this. And it's funny because I think the discussions between Ada and I were pretty easy. Now I think I left my full-time job in July. And if you ask Aiden when he was ready to leave my full-time job, when were you ready for me to leave?
So we met in the middle. We got there.
And it's funny because a lot of the conversations was like, all right, I'm going to leave my job in August. Okay, I think we could maybe July, maybe this. And it just kept getting like sooner and sooner and sooner and sooner. And I think like that was almost the note of like, all right, no, it is time for us to go all in. And I think between Aiden and I, it was really easy. And even between like our friends and family, like they were all super supportive. Yeah. They're more than understanding of what we do. I think like still culturally, it's a little bit weird when you're like, oh, what do you do? But yeah.
Yeah. No, I was going to say, I mean, it's been fantastic. I think that it was after June, at some point in June, it was like, because most of my videos had always been in my office too, because I was working at like this other job. So like I wasn't traveling. And so this past year, one of the goals was like, just go out and do stuff, like go places, record it, like actually get out. Stop just like being in your room recording videos, like go out, record videos. And so in June, I traveled, I think it was like 13 days straight or something. I think it might have been potentially when we met you guys at Pottstown. That might have been a part of that trip. And I just remember like, I was gone like 13 days. And I think we saw each other like twice. And it was the same thing. Like when I played baseball, we were apart for usually like 2 to 3 months at the least, 6 months at the most. And it was just kind of a part of the job. And the biggest thing I'll say that like I love about this job is A, I love the like what I get to work on, but B, I love being able to control my own schedule. I love being able to spend time with people I want to be with. And that's the biggest value, was the time. And so I think that I realized like I just didn't really want to travel and like make content. If like we weren't going to see each other, it kind of defeated the whole purpose of this. And so for me, it was a pretty easy decision of like wanting I to come on full time too, because we're also, we work really well together. And we're also very almost like I would say skilled in like different areas that are super valuable. So Addy's like has been able to help a ton with the operations side of things, the management side. But then also the one thing we didn't really see was like she's now taken on the full-time videography role, which wasn't initially the plan. But it's also like it was really interesting. Pretty much we found out very quickly, or I found out very quickly. I'm much more comfortable shooting with her. And also she makes other people very comfortable on camera. And so if a lot of like what we're doing is with a youth audience and parents and seeing how well it was like received and also how much faster we could move. That was the big one. Like we use this line, I got it from one of the, my coaches was like success loves speed. And we can now move so much faster. And I think I recently heard it on the John Uche and Eric podcast. And it was like saying that like YouTube isn't like a big ship. Like YouTube is like a jet ski. You pretty much need to be able to move as fast as you can and pivot and change. And so I think even now it's like we can go to these events and we can put out 2 posts in the same day and we can do it the next day. And so there's been so much almost like, I guess, hidden value that we didn't really see before. But obviously the biggest benefit is like us just getting to work on the same thing together. And Addy's like very, very passionate about doing like getting things done. And I think that's where like we meet really well of like, we're going to figure it out. We're going to get it done. If there's an issue, like we'll figure it out. And so being able to have like a very small team where we can work together.
Creators need those people, right? Because we're the people who are going to just jump out of the airplane and then we're like, I don't know, we'll figure it out, right? But Addy's the kind of person that'll figure it out, right? Like how's the plane land? I remember when we met you at Pottstown, like Colt went up to Aiden and was like, hey, can I interview you real quick? And then immediately after, like Addy like ran over and you were telling me that like, I think it was like literally you had either just quit your job or you were like, I'm quitting my job next week. Like it was like, and I was like, man, that makes for such an interesting story and so cool. And then I remember it was either that morning or the next morning, like it was like 7:30, no one was even on the field yet. And Addy's holding the camera and there's Aiden in center field, like doing his video. It was just it's really cool to see. And we all need that person, right? Like, and I'm, for him, I'm kind of the same way. Like I'm pushing him like, hey, let's get to practice 30 minutes early and let's go film something in the outfield or let's go do something. And like, and then also just have someone to bounce ideas off of, so it's super fun.
It's been huge. Yeah, it's been such a huge win. And I think it is funny too. Addy is such like, between the two of us, Addy is the YouTuber. That's the funny thing. Like if we went back 10 years ago, like peak YouTube, like I didn't really understand much about YouTube. Addy was like more so the one who like has all these channels that she grew up watching. I didn't really grow up watching YouTube. So it is funny that there'll still be things now that like are just like, again, having a different perspective and having somebody to talk to about these things. And that's the biggest thing I think for us is now just being able to be in the same space and just constantly work on it. It's also made it so much like, I wouldn't even say like easier for me, just better. It's like we've been able to produce better quality. We've been able to get things out faster. Like, and so, yeah, I mean, there's been so many wins in it, but yeah, I think just like the time is like the biggest one.
Which I think like even the funny part of that is I think similar in or parallel to baseball careers, you say the line often, Aiden, that you have to care the most about your career. Like you have to be in charge of it. No coach, no family member can care more about your career than you. You're in control of it. And similarly with your YouTube channel, like nobody can care more about your YouTube channel than you.
Yeah.
And so when you're building this team around your channel, you want people that are just as invested. And I am an all-in girl. I am 100% devoted when I'm into something. And so when we work on the channel, like I'm equally invested into this channel as he is. I think a good test of like, if you can work with somebody is like, can you build IKEA with them? And Aiden, Aiden and I have moved a lot. We have built a whole lot of IKEA furniture together and we crush it. I think maybe that's a marriage test. Maybe that's
More power to you, because I say the only way that my wife and I are going to ever get divorced is if we have to put together if we're stuck in a room and we have to put together furniture. It does not end well. We are not compatible in the IKEA department.
oh no, we know
Those are subsections we just go to.
we know our roles and like where to go as soon as like the IKEA box is out and how to work. And like it's funny because I think like similar to you of this idea of like also being comfortable like pushing the other person to maybe like do something a little bit out of the box. I think I'm able to do that with Aiden, and
Yeah.
I think we're able to bounce off of each other really well and hopefully create something really cool.
Nice. I think my most popular Facebook post ever is when I said that it's cheaper to hire a handyman than a divorce attorney. And so it was, that's my marriage advice. That's my marriage advice.
The only thing we like, I can't, it's funny because I have this whole wall that I put up myself.
Yeah.
I can't hang anything straight on a wall to save my life. So this year we finally got to the point where we hired a handyman to like mount our TV.
Yeah.
And I was just like, yeah, that's just the right decision. Cause like, I don't want to look at the TV that's crooked for the rest of the year.
Yeah.
But yeah, we just like, it's been fun too, of like, we get to work together really well. And I think that it also, the biggest benefit if somebody looked at like and asked me if I like being a YouTuber, if I like being a baseball player more, it's 100% being a YouTuber. There's absolutely no doubt in my mind. If you ask me like which one my dream was, it was baseball. But like, which one do I enjoy more? 100% YouTube. I control my time. I control where we like live to some extent. And I control who I get to be with. And I think that there's a lot of sacrifice that goes on in baseball that I'm grateful I don't have to sacrifice anymore now, which is being away from people and getting to really like work on things that you enjoy. So like, I mean, we're able to do this. It's 9 a.m. here in Arizona. Like,
There's worse things to do the day before Thanksgiving, I guess, you know?
yeah.
All right, we got 2 more for you, and then we'll let you go get ready for the holidays. And it was a perfect segue for the next one.
Let's talk setup. Let's start with your actual set and studio. Walk us through how this has evolved and what it looks like today.
Well, it's going to be evolving again too. We're probably going to be moving into a new place at the start of next year. Space wise, well, I'm like, you have the whole background. So the wall behind me, I don't know if you guys can see, like it goes kind of far that way and that way.
In that way.
And it was one of those things where I'd always like, it honestly started because I saw other people with cool backgrounds. I was like, I want a cool background. And I tried so many different things. It probably took like a good 6 months to get this wall to where it is now. But we've got all the stuff on the wall. And then right now we're actually, our like office is also our filming space, is also our storage space. So I have, to paint a picture, this corner across from me, I have preparation for, we're doing a really big video in December. There's like 50 to 60 Christmas presents that are fully wrapped in that corner that just don't fit there. We have our light right in front of us. And then there's just boxes and everything else. So right now it kind of acts as like an all-in-one. The goal for like potentially our next place is to be able to have like an office room and then also like a film studio with a like full backdrop. And then we'll kind of redesign the wall a little bit. And then camera gear and everything like that, I'll let you kind of take.
Yeah, I mean, right now, we're still working on. Now we have the Canon R6 Mark II.
Nice upgrade. Nice upgrade.
It was a very nice upgrade from the Canon F50. I still can't believe nobody like laughed when we were like just walking around with that, like knowing what I know now. But we rock with that a lot. We'll use the DJI Pocket 3 as well. Those are so convenient.
Yeah.
We also have now the Insta360. A lot of people use those for helmet cams. So a lot of the times when we're doing those for the team takeovers, throwing those on are super easy.
Players love them too.
Players love them. We've gotten some cool clips from it. And again, like team-wise, it's just Aiden and I like rocking around at a field at 7 a.m. And
yeah. Yeah, I think I feel like gear-wise, like this year we made some really big upgrades, office space. And like, I think office and stuff like that, like setup will be kind of something that's like next year. We'll be able to change a little bit, but it's been fun getting to kind of build it out. And I think like, again, showcase like a lot of the like really just like cool baseball products and companies and brands that we get to work with as well. So if you guys ever have any questions about a wall, I literally created I was talking to Cole from Good Tough. I created this whole Google Doc with every link and every like recommendation or like things not to buy, because I pretty much bought everything that didn't work. The amount of things that like I put into this wall and then had to like putty up and then paint over. So if you ever have any wall questions, I have a Google Doc I can send over.
Oh man, that's amazing. I love that. And your room sounds literally like our room. So for my day job, I literally review e-commerce products. So I have thousands of boxes here on the, like, my wife hates me every day. The post office actually hates me even more. The mail person is like, here's 7 more things for you today, you know, and then it's got to go somewhere. So
you get it. Yeah, you get it then. Absolutely. Yeah, we have when we were gone, we went to Australia. We were there like 2 weeks. We had a friend on like our floor who was able to like bring the stuff into our room.
you probably couldn't even walk in the house at that point.
We like get past, there's just piles, and I was just like, I felt so bad that she had to move all of this in.
Which also he's not mentioning. Our neighborhood is almost like a retirement community as well.
It's like we're in a condo. Yeah,
We're in a condo and
we're on the 5th floor.
we're on the 5th floor. We're at the top level. We have a nice little corner unit, but primarily it's a retirement community. And so nobody on our floor quite understands what we do. So for the longest time, you know, still when I was working in my full-time job, I would be leaving and going to work, and they're like, what's Aiden up to today? And
The stay-at-home dog dad, apparently.
they were fully convinced that Aiden just stays at home and he gets all these packages, and they have no idea.
Lots of mystery packages.
Yeah. There's a lot of, they just don't know. And yeah, it's great.
Where does this go? How sustainable is this for both of you long term before you need to pivot, change courses, or build something bigger or than just brand deals, affiliates, and making videos every week?
It's a really good question. My initial thought, because I mean, I've spent a lot of time thinking about it, and also I think that there's, I think one of my best qualities that helped me as a player and that helps me as a creator is I'm happy to not know sometimes. Like, I don't need to know the outcome to do the work. Like, I don't need to train to like with the guarantee of anything. And I think right now, the one thing I've thought about the most is like, I always want to be like, I guess like age appropriate. Like if we're focused on a youth audience, like that's who I want to create content for. And I also understand like I'm not 20 years old. And like, I'm also like, so I feel like I'm aware of my age and how that can potentially change. But the one thing I will say is like, I think that there's, and I think something Addy's reassured me of too, is like, I think there's so much room for the type of content we're making now in the baseball space. And even the more so like getting into more team takeovers, more things like that. Like, I just think that age isn't necessarily a very big factor in it. And I think that I see myself and us doing like kind of exactly what we're doing for a long time. I think we'll get better at certain areas of it. And I do think, like you said, right? Like, how would we potentially diversify? I would love to at some point do merch or do products, like something like that. The reason we really haven't done it yet is because I want it to be really good and I want it to be really valuable. I don't want it to be just, I don't know, like an arm sleeve or something like with my name on it. I want it to be really good. And I want it to actually bring value. So there's like things that we've talked about and things we've worked on, but I do think that at some point a product or potentially a service, and that service, like I worked as a trainer for a long time. It's not, I like doing YouTube more. And so I think that at some point though, I will probably be back in closer to training or coaching in some form. But instead of kind of coaching like one team, I want to coach as many as possible so we can meet as many people as possible and hopefully impact as many players as possible.
Yeah, love that.
To answer your question, I don't really have a very 10-year plan, but I enjoy not knowing necessarily what it looks like.
It's a great answer. Well, just wait till you're in your mid 40s and you have to relate to like, you know, teenagers and kids. Way more fun. And definitely we'll buy some of those bullpen media hats from you whenever they're available. So, you know, make it happen. All right, we're going to roll into rapid fire. A couple of these are specific for Aiden or Addy. Otherwise, just whatever you guys come up with, and let's take it away.
Okay.
Where's the coolest place you've gotten to go because of content?
Coolest place.
San Diego.
Yeah, San Diego's great. We got to see the bananas there. I would say San Diego. I'm trying to think. We didn't. Well, I guess we haven't done it internationally yet. We haven't done any international baseball.
Not specifically for content, but you vacation internationally.
Yes, that's what.
Addy, what's your favorite video Aiden's created?
I'm just going to say the early vlogs. I have really fond memories of the early vlogs. I love seeing Aiden at that time and space. And I think there's a specific vlog that we actually go to the beach together. And we did this trip to Laguna. And in the video, we're talking and he takes me to go get coffee and we buy these lattes. And at the time, I think like the latte was like $5. and you felt like that was super expensive and it came with a glass jar. And like now I'm sure if you buy that latte, it's like a $12 latte. So yeah, probably the early vlogs and that beach.
I think
vlog.
that's like vlog 3 or something.
Yeah.
Addy, what's the most cringe video he's either created or that you had to watch him create?
I'm going to say the early shorts, the green screen shorts. And specifically, I think are you reviewing Baseball Drip?
Yeah, I'll send it to you.
Yeah. I'm going to send you that one. But probably some of the early green screen videos.
Was he a one take or was that like 40 takes to get like 30 seconds out?
Probably 40 takes.
It was probably 40 takes, or even just again, the vlog, the facility vlogs of like, the camera is like down here and he's vlogging.
Those are still hard to watch.
Yeah. But I love them. Like as cringe as they are, I equally love them.
Who's a dream athlete or creator you guys would love to collab with?
Ooh, Ryan Trahan would be my creator. I think he's one of my favorite YouTubers, not even baseball, but I just think he's fantastic. As a creator, honestly, as a player, I mean, obviously, I think,
Shohei Ohtani.
yeah, I mean, Otani's like a very easy one to say. I honestly think it would be, yeah, I think like somebody like, Otani, I think that like kind of one of the high like profile name guys. But the one thing I will say is like, I think it would actually be somebody that like I played with in the minors. Like one I would say is like Jared Koenig. He was with the Brewers. He was on their playoff roster, had an amazing year. I played with him in Double-A. And so it would mean more to me to like do something with him, probably than honestly an MLB guy. They're already famous, like they're fine. But it'd be fun to do something with somebody else who like I played with, kind of before they got there.
Being a content couple, who's your favorite celebrity couple?
I mean, I'd probably honestly say Ryan Trahan and his wife. I just am blanking on her name right now. I don't even think that you've seen as much of their content though. So,
I mean, I feel like now this whole like Kelsey gang is like so amazing. I feel like they're like the Kelsey family is like just growing and changing. I think they're quite elite.
I mean, it'd be at least good to go like watch a game with them in their box, right? Like that'd be a good time.
yeah, I'm like,
I will 100% go to a Taylor Swift concert.
If you had an unlimited budget to grow your content business, what would you spend it on?
Unlimited budget. I think that probably just do some very like, I mean, honestly, just like really kind of like expensive videos, like to like actually make, but like being able to do, I don't know, the whole like surprising like teams with, I guess it would be like full gear. I don't even know. To be honest, I don't know. I haven't actually thought about what it would be like to be a full budget. It would probably be, honestly, hiring potentially like a videography team, you managing it, and just kind of like, I think it would be more so that the ideas would allow us to go bigger. Like I would love to almost like to be able to afford to, travel to 3 MLB games in a day because we have a jet, something like that. Like, I think it would just like that. I think it would just get bigger. Yeah. It would get Mr. Beastified pretty much, is how I would say it. Or we do, what's the Squid Games, but with like baseball players or something like that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Just a massive production.
Yeah. Massive production. I don't know if it'd be good, but.
What's your big goal for 2026 when it comes to growing your creator business?
Biggest goal for 2026, and it sounds very, very simple, but it's to make better long form videos. That's the goal. So the biggest goal, I always have like a very broad, just like general goal for the year. And then there's a ton of very detailed goals, but the very broad goal for this year was volume. It was simply to publish as much as possible. And it was to prove that I could be a full-time YouTuber. I could publish 4 times a month or more, which I had never done before, which we did every single month this year. And so for 2026, it's really just How do we make better long form videos? And there's a lot of very small details in that we have, but that's the goal, is just make really, really good long form videos and get better at being a YouTuber.
Nice. Love that. Guys, thanks so much for the time. I know we went a little long, but man, this was so much fun. What I love most about this is like he gets to get a world-class education from like some of the best in the world every single week. And you guys really, really are doing an amazing job. We'll link up all the stuff. But anything that we didn't talk about or plug that we need to plug before we head out today?
No, that was awesome. And yeah, I mean, I enjoyed it a lot. Right on an hour. Yeah. I enjoyed talking with you guys. And this was the first time that we've done it together as a couple. And so, I mean, when you sent it over, like I was excited to be able to do this with you guys. And I think for us to be able to do it together too. So.
No, we love what you guys are doing, and we love being a part of it too. So thanks for sharing it with us.
We appreciate it, guys. If you're not following these guys, we'll link everything below, and we appreciate it. And as we're recording this, we'll say Happy Thanksgiving.
Happy Thanksgiving.
Happy Thanksgiving.
Thanks, guys.